You changed my mourning into dancing. You took off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pruning to Prosper. I'm your host, Gina Morton, and I am so excited to share this story with you today. So, I want you to know that the past few months, I have been taking a course, and I really admire this woman named Cathy Heller, and she's got a podcast that I encourage you to listen to. Cathy Heller is doing what she was put on this earth to do, and there is just a glow about her that she is so stepped into her purpose. It's not even funny. And I discovered her probably about 2 years ago at this point on she was a guest on a different podcast. And from the minute I heard her speak, I thought, this is my girl. And I want to say she's my mentor, but we're not friends. I don't really know her, but and I've never taken any of her courses before. I've done all the free things that she has offered, but there was something about this most recent course that I thought, Gina, it's time. It's time to invest in yourself. It's time to really see what you're called to do. And I think I needed a cheerleader. I needed that investment in myself to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone. I knew I was going to be doing a podcast going into this course. And part of Cathy Heller's course was in the end making a podcast. So I was kind of like, all right, I'm off that week because I already took a podcasting course. So anyway, the course was called Abundant Ever After, and it was all about stepping into your most abundant life, which is what we are all called to do. It's what God wants for us. And the version of abundant life to me is going to look totally different for you. So the name Pruning to Prosper for my podcast, it actually came from the name of my course that I teach. And we were talking about it in the course the last time. I said, like, one of you might be called to be a missionary in Africa, and maybe you're not making any money at all. You're just living off donations or, charity or whatever. But you're as happy and fulfilled as someone else that's called to be a CEO and to build hospitals and donate millions and millions of dollars, right? They're two totally different lives, but they're both equally abundant. Okay. I hope you're still following with me. And that's really what I want for you too. I want you to answer God's call in your life and have the courage to do it, because his will for your life is way better than your idea of what a good life is. And if you have the courage to trust him, you're going to have the most abundant life. And I'm here just to clear the way for you. Like going back to my first episode of Harper Lee, like she had To Kill a Mockingbird inside of her head, but she couldn't quit her job and take the time to write the book. So the very practical thing of, well, I'm going to need some money is what she needed, so that in order to open the way for her to do what God was calling her to do. And that's really what I see my role as in your life. Like, let's get rid of the debt, the clutter, the mindset issues. Let's feed the people that have to get fed dinner. Let's have your house running so smoothly that you have no other choice but to say, well, I guess it's time for me to do what God's calling me to do right now. All right. And that's my wish for you, is like, let's get rid of all that other stuff so you can really focus on what he's calling you to do. So I was called to do this course, and it's a 12-week course, and it's the most I've ever invested in myself, but I knew it was time. And I also got a message from God before I really started this podcast that it was go slow, Gina. And I'm like, okay, but I got to be honest, I'm struggling with the go slow part. Like, I'm like, okay, God, where's the success that I see for myself? Like, he plant these images of success on my heart, and I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm like, okay, I love my clients. Things are going along nicely and smoothly, but it's just not the financial abundance that I was hoping was going to come, right? I'm going to be honest with you. And so I decided to invest in this course and see what Cathy Heller had to say about it. And there's live Zooms with her once a week and live Zooms with her assistant once a week. And there was over 400 people on some of these Zooms. So that's how many people are taking this course of hers, right? And so she'll speak for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then she'll leave the last maybe half hour or a little bit more to questions. And she calls that time period the hot seat. And you can raise your virtual hand on Zoom and hope to get a hot seat with Cathy Heller. And so she'll call you up and you get to ask your question and she'll answer you and give you advice and pump you up. And you might think like, wow, like the odds are so hard. They're so against you in getting a hot seat, which they really are. But the good thing is, no matter what the person's business is that is in the hot seat, their question will be relevant to you. It's amazing how it works out that in her answer, you always think, is she talking to me? Because I feel like she's talking to me. It's just that it's the genius of how she does all the things that she does. But anyway, the odds are pretty hard. They're pretty hard to get a hot seat. And so as the weeks went on, I didn't even have the courage to ask a question. But then I thought, okay, Gina, it's time. We're getting down to the end of this program, and this is your chance to talk to Cathy Heller if it's God's will, right? So I started raising my hand at the end of the Zooms, and maybe 2 times. And then the third time, I thought, I'm going to raise my hand again today. And there was just something about that day that I got this message that just said, you might want to do your hair and makeup, Gina. And so I was doing my hair and my makeup, and my friend Jen from Chicago, who I talk about all the time, the Living Joyful and Well podcast, Jen, she was texting me, and because she's in this course with me as well. And I was like, I'm raising my hand today. I'm doing my hair and makeup, and today's my day. And so she's like, yes, go for it, go for it. And I just knew. And so we got to the portion of the Zoom where she says, okay, I'm going to open it up for questions. And I had my hand raised, and there's only one other hand raised. I couldn't believe it. I mean, the odds were 50-50 that I would get called on. And I just took a little breath and I thought, okay, God, I'm ready. And I looked down and I just heard, Gina. And I looked up, and there's my face, big as day on the Zoom. And I was like, hi. And I got to ask her my question. So I didn't really ask her a question per se. I just said to her, I feel like I needed to pay the money for this course to hear you tell me to just do it. I just needed to hear her voice say, Gina, do it. Step out into faith. Because I'm telling you guys this, but I also need it too. Like I will never not have a coach again. I am going to go from one thing to the next because I'm done trying to figure things out on my own, and I'm done trying to figure things out the hard way. I am at the stage of my life where I am ready to pay for help and to pay for someone to hold my hand and say, this is the next practical step to take. This is how you do a podcast. Da, 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 da. But the stuff Cathy Heller teaches, I know. I already know all this stuff. It's all this mindset stuff that I know. I tell my friends this all the time. I tell my clients this stuff all the time, but I needed to hear it. And so we talked, and normally, like I was saying, you get like 20 minutes maybe to talk to her. Well, we talked for 45 minutes. 45 minutes, you guys. And I could not believe it. And in the end, she said to me, if you want to have your most abundant life, you need to do these 2 non-negotiables every single day. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today, because I want you to have the most abundant life as well. Here's the number one thing she said we need to do every single day without skipping a day at all. You need to wake up, and she said to meditate. I'm going to use the word pray. I want you, first thing, when your eyes open, thank God that your eyes opened. Don't reach for your phone. Maybe you can make the coffee, but I want you to really spend time with God, because this whole podcast that I'm doing is to help you figure out what he's calling you to do. And if you're not spending time with him in the quiet of the morning and starting your day with him first and foremost, how are you ever going to know what he's calling you to do? he's a stranger to you. If you don't talk to him every single day and get to know him and ask him all the time, what do you want me to do today? How do you want me to use my gifts today? How do you want me to use my voice today? How do you want me to use my energy today? Who needs to hear from you via me today? And I'll tell you, when you start asking him that all the time, all throughout the course of your day, you are going to be amazed at the people and the opportunities he puts in your path because you're open to it. So that's the number one thing. You need to pray every single day and ask him, what is your will for me? And he will tell you. All right. So I know I'm doing his will right now. I know that without a doubt. But I'm struggling with the timing. I'm going to be honest. I'm struggling a little bit with the timing, but I know he's got my best intentions. So I'm going to believe and step out in faith that the financial abundance that I'm imagining is coming. And if it's not financial abundance, I know that something will come from this podcast and from my work as a declutter coach that will bring me true peace. And I think the peace that transcends all human understanding is the most abundant life you can have, right? All right, so that's the number one thing. Every single day, without a doubt, you need to pray, okay? And the second thing that she told me I have to do every single day is to have a dance party. I know. And that's why I use the opening verse from Psalms about you changed my mourning into dancing. You took off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. Because sometimes it's very hard being a business owner all by myself. I'm in my house, in my basement, doing my thing. And, when I do decluttering, I am with people in their homes and I love that. But a lot of my planning and my thinking and all the things, it's alone. I spend a lot of my day alone and it can get depressing. And then I kind of get into this spiral of like, well, I don't really feel like getting, pumped up. And like, I know the things I should do to make myself happier. It's just hard. You get in a rut. And if you ever feel like you're just kind of in a rut emotionally, this is again why I did that book club on the power of fun, because I was like, I need more fun in my life, right? So when Cathy Heller told me every single day you need to have a dance party, I thought, okay, I need to take this as serious as a heart attack because it's energy. 99% of our body is made up of energy. The energy that was created with the universe is the same energy. It's no more is being created and it's not being destroyed. It just changes forms. You guys remember this? This is all coming back to you. So your energy is just changing forms. And if you don't believe me, think about when you go to someone's house, say like you and your husband are going to another couple's house for dinner, and you open the front door, they open the front door, and they're all smiles and everything's good. They greet you, you go inside, but you get inside and you're kind of like, something's not right here. And you kind of get the sense that they had been fighting, even though they're all smiles now. But you know why you can pick up on that? Because it's an energy. That energy in the house has shifted. And it's the same, like a dog can sense your fear because it's all just energy. And the goal is if we are all one with God, that's all of our energies united to him. And that's the ultimate, is like one body. That's us. If everyone was connected to source, to God, there would be no war. There would be no disease. There would be no jealousy. There would be no, money. Like everything would be as he intended it to be, and probably what it will be in heaven. Okay. But when you dance and you crank up the music, or you're sitting in your minivan and you're jamming out to Eminem. Eminem's one of my big pump up songs. Like you have to have pump up music and you have to raise your vibration, because when you raise that vibration, you're raising your energy. And when your energy is up high, amazing things are going to start to happen, because you're going to get into flow and connection and fun. Okay, that's what this book was about. It was about like True fun comes from connection and flow. All right. And when you have that dance party and you step out into the world with your energy raised up, amazing things are going to come your way. If you don't believe me, just try it. All right. So, those are the two bits of advice shared by Cathy Heller to me, and I'm passing them on to you because I wish for you too the most abundant life. And we are not put here to be, gnashing our teeth in sorrow and anger. Like, we are here to be joyful Christians. We are here to show other people God's love through us. And that's through being joyful, you guys. So make sure you're praying every day, asking him what his will is for your life and your day and your hour and, minute by minute. What do you want me to do, God? What do you want me to do? Guide my words. I'm always asking him, guide my words. What do you want me to say on this podcast today? So, and then I need you to go have a dance party. Have a great day.